What is up, guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe down below. Check out some of the other videos that we have streaming on YouTube right now. But today I kind of want to bring an update. I know I haven't been dropping many videos, so I have about 3 more that are in the works. I'm going to be getting out the next few days, but I am working in the shop for half today, and we are doing a ring and pinion install. Now, if you have not done a Ford Racing ring and pinion install, the marketing behind it is that you can really take out whatever was in it, which in this case is out of Shon's 2000, I think it's a 2007 GT. You can take whatever's out of it, take the pinion shim off of it, run it on the new pinion shim. So we had a 331, this is a 410. I've actually already put this in once and now I'm rechecking it because I didn't like it. And you can run it just like that. 7, 8, 9 times out of 10, I just got the Ford Racing, they said 8. That you really don't need to change it much, it's pretty much good to go. Now this is a used gear, so I can't expect it to be silent, and I put it in last weekend, and under acceleration it was fine, under part throttle cruising it was fine, but on any kind of decel it was loud. Now the S197 chassis, the way it has the third control arm up top, it does translate more sound, even so it's more sensitive to transferring sound into the body also. So it's kind of difficult. However, I plan on doing more rear ends, so what I decided to do is purchase a nice pinion depth gauge. Now this one's from T&D Machine. I actually got the recommendation off of Fab Forums, so if you don't follow the Fab Forums on YouTube, the guy's fantastic. But it's pretty cool, it bolts into the housing, you measure it, this one's set up, they give you a little magnet that allows you to offset it properly. Very nice SPI dial indicator. Much nicer than the dial indicator that I currently use for backlash, so now I will use this one as well. So it's super cool. And what's nice is that when you order like a Motive Gear or Richmond or Strange, you know, some of these other gear companies, they're gonna scribe on the end of the pinion depth that it should have from the center of the carrier. Now Ford Racing doesn't, because they kind of treat it as like an OEM gear. A lot of OEM gears don't have it scribed because it's not really tested, it's all manufactured the same as factory, it should just swap right in. But there is a way to set pinion depth that way, and without getting too nerdy, you kind of take like a national, you know, like a standard housing diameter, which on a Ford 8.8 is, according to Ford, it's 4.420, according to T&D it's 4.415, so you have a 5,000 difference there. But, and then you subtract the pinion head thickness, let's call it, from the mounting surface of the bearing or shims to the front of this. Now it's kind of crazy, and the reason why this works with Ford Racing gears is that this one is 1.8855. This is a 331 factory gear. This is a 410 factory gear. So you can see it, not factory gear, but factory Ford. Now this one is also 1.8855. Pretty crazy that they nailed that that far accurate. So technically the shim that was in it should have worked just fine. However, I'm gonna turn the heat off. Hey guys. So technically the shim that was in it should have worked just fine. However, Shon also said, well, it did kind of have a decel noise even with the factory gear. So I already put this 410 in it and the pattern was decent. Like I said, it was okay. When I measured the pinion depth on it, compared to what doing the measurement versus the housing diameter versus the pinion head thickness, it looked like I should have had about 5 thousandths less pinion depth. Then when I talked to Ford Racing and said, hey, I put in a used gear, I know it's not going to be perfect, but I don't think it should howl as loud as it does on decel. And they said, the first guy said, well, maybe take like 3-4 thousandths out of the pinion depth. Maybe that'll fix it. And then the next guy said run a little bit more backlash. I had it set at 10 thousandths, but he said that a lot of success has been created over the years of putting 8/8s together on the higher side. 12, even as high as 15. He said he ran his personal car at 16 and it got rid of a lot of noise. So we'll probably put this in the 12 to 13 range when we put it in this time. But I was more concerned with pinion depth because it doesn't give you a number to go off of, but now we figured that out too. I didn't record putting it in the first time, but I probably had the carrier and pinion out at least 10 times. Mark the paint, move the pinion, mark the paint, move the pinion, mark the paint, move the pinion, over and over and over again, and I couldn't get anything I was happy with, and I ended up resulting in putting what it had on it back in it. Because 365 thou sounds like that's a lot. It's more than what, you know, it's more than typical for other 8/8s that I've set up in the past. But now that I got this handy dandy tool, it's a one and done. This is a new bearing already pressed on, shimmed at what I think it should be shimmed at. We are doing a crush sleeve delete. It gets rid of the crush sleeve. This uses just a solid shim. Then you have some little shims to set bearing preload versus using one of these guys here, which you tighten it until it gives you the proper preload, and that's what crushes this and blah, blah, blah. It's junk. This way is the way to go. In a stick shift application, I'm very much a stickler about this. Yeah, if I'm setting up your rear end, we're putting one of these in there. $18.99, set it, it's reusable. You don't need to replace it every time you change the gear. You can use it, keep the shims. It's definitely worth the $19. This is a Richmond one. I do like the Yukon gear one, which has an aluminum top and bottom, and you put the shims in between. I've used both with great success. The Yukon one is twice the price. For the rest of this video, maybe I'll show you guys putting it in, but that's what we're doing next. I'm going to install the pinion, set the bearing preload. I probably will take it in and out once or twice to try to get the shimming correct on this, and then that'll be it. Then we'll mess with the carrier. I'll show you guys setting the backlash on this so I can make myself happy there. We'll check the pattern. I hope it looks better than it did last weekend. And, oh, one more thing we gotta do to this thing. One of the main reason is not because it had a slight drone on decel. When we had it up in the air, you're able to turn the tires opposite of each other. And on a clutch pack style differential like this, shouldn't happen. So now they're worn, they got 60,000 miles. Shon beats the shit out of this car. He's admitted to us. So we really took it apart to put clutch packs in it. And so that's what I'm gonna do next. I gotta take the ring gear off, swap the internals out of it, and then put the Cobra carbon fiber clutch packs and new spring in it, and then this will go in too. But I'm gonna play with this first. I'm gonna get this set and done so I don't need to think about it, and then move on to this stuff. So, bring you guys an update. All right guys, so I wanna show you the difference on Shon's diff. We got the pinion set. It has 25 inch-pounds, just under 25 inch-pounds of rolling resistance, which is perfect for the pinion on new bearings, so that nailed it. We did all the math to get the pinion depth right, which I kind of showed you guys that already once. So the pinion depth is good to go. Now we're changing out the clutch packs. So you gotta soak the clutch packs in friction material or gear oil here, but I'll show you guys the difference of these. So this is what goes in between all the clutch packs. It's just the friction material, and with the teeth is what transfers the power to the axles themselves. So the housing holds onto the clutch packs with these ears, and then the friction between them, like this. I mean, there's more than this, obviously. There's about 7 on each side or something like that. But this spins in here. Now, if I actually squeeze on this, try to, you know, I mean, they're pretty good, but they're still pretty slippery. So that's the old stuff. You'll see that on the clutch pad itself, it's got one solid ring of material all the way around. So if you're into clutches or stick shift cars, just for a good example, me and Ben were just talking about it a second ago, some higher end clutches, they go to a clutch pack material because it's easier to seal a small pad 100% than it is to seal this whole thing 100%. More than likely it has 3 or 4 good contact points that this is gonna make, and it doesn't really give you the best. The Ford Racing carbon fiber clutch pack upgrade, these are gonna be nasty, so I'm gonna clean them off for a second here. I've had these soaking overnight, so they're good to go, as long as I don't spray them with brake cleaner. So this is the Ford Racing upgrade. So it has 3 carbon fiber clutch pads on each side. The friction plate looks to be the same. I don't think there's any difference there. So now we got this set up, and even without me holding it, I really can't even move them. So this will be much stiffer. I can't separate them. I'm pushing on them, just barely. So this is the new setup, all fresh. And then the last portion of the new clutch packs are This is the old spring. I have that new one. And this is the new one. And the Cobra one uses a stiffer spring. So I don't think it's anything we're gonna be able to tell because they're hard as hell to move. I could squeeze this one kinda. I really can't move this one. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this one's stiffer. Could just be new. Anyway, so we got the lower clutch pack in. We got the spider gear in it already, so this side's set according to Ford Racing directions, which are over here somewhere. So that shit's all good to go. Now we're going to build the other side and then slip that into the opposite side. Then it's ready to get reinstalled. Bring you guys more information once we get it in the car. All right, guys, so we have the internals replaced in the 8.8. It's just a Ford Racing diff. You can see now it's got the new Cobra spring in it, which this actually required using a press to get in. Not that it required that much force. It's just you need to have like consistent pressure on it to get it to push into it. So I highly doubt we'll be able to move the wheels opposite ways like we were able to when we took this thing out. There's no way. I could barely even turn these to get the spider gears back in. You have to like rotate them, and I couldn't do it. So we kind of had to force that around. Got the spring in it though. The clutch packs come with a instruction manual. It's pretty simple stuff. Soak everything, put it in this order. Definitely something you could do at home. Now we just gotta put the ring gear back on, hit it with some Loctite, torque it down, and then we will go set backlash on this, and then we're done. A lot easier when you have the right tools. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and we have a couple videos coming out here in the next few days. I reviewed my Focus ST while I was in Pennsylvania. That video is gonna be released next. I'm gonna try to get this one out like live, like tonight, and because we do have some LS stuff coming in tonight as well. It's actually outside, but I'll show you guys at the end of this video. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys shortly. All right, so the rear end is done on Sean's car. We didn't really show much of setting up in the back, but we set the backlash at like 13. Ford Racing told me to make it a little looser to try to avoid the coasting noise. But we're getting ready to start project number 2. It's been sitting for 2 years. I think if it starts and runs, we're gonna take it to the power washer first. But we're gonna try to get this thing started, and we'll bring you an update once the Lightning's not running so you can hear me talk.